watching the ball go over the wall, and the taste of peanuts and Cracker Jacks. There's nothing like it. Play ball! It's America's pastime. From the first pitch to the final out, you can hear every game right here on your home for Alabama baseball.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at sensagreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
Hello, listeners. I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well, try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
This spring, bloom into savings at Owen Home Appliance Center with a new shipment of scratch and dent items at the Somerville location, like a side-by-side refrigerator with water and ice, just $6.99. Or head to the highly interactive location in Lacey Springs to get the latest in appliance tech. It's garden and grilling season, so you're going to need that 21 cubic foot upright frost-free freezer for just $7.99 at Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service only at Owen Home Appliance Center, Somerville and Lacey Springs.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
There you go. We're back. We're live. We're literally live. We're at Bill Penney Toyota, sitting here in the service department on a Monday morning. Their doors are just opening Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. They can service your vehicle. And right now, limited lifetime replacement on batteries. How about this? You can get a good one starting at $219. You got some cheaper ones starting at $69. Just see your service advisor here at Bill Penney Toyota. They can get you all hooked up. They got everything going on. 256-576-4977. That's how you can join the show this morning throughout the 2 hours. Got a lot of stuff to get you caught up on that happened over the weekend. Little Major League Baseball, college baseball, Kentucky Derby going on. They raced in the mud up there in Lexington, or in Louisville, I should say. Did you see that at all? They see how much mud? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. It was fantastic. Fantastic.
Well, it rained all over the Southeast. I mean, hell, we had trouble getting baseball games in, that's for sure. And so
they raced. The mud was so thick up there, and by the time the horses finished, the ones that were in the back,
right,
looked like, I mean, they had just been coated in mud. I mean, the jockeys had like 20-some pairs of goggles on that they were going through during the race. Amazing. Every horse in the Kentucky Derby on Saturday was a descendant of Secretariat.
Oh, sweet.
Every one of them in there. It was fantastic. It was one of these days next to the Masters. That is on the next. That is the number 2 bucket list item. Is the Kentucky Derby next to the Masters is 1, Derby is 2.
Have fun.
But I would have to sit in the box. Oh, you would do not want to go to the Derby.
Nope. Have no interest.
Really?
Don't follow horse racing. Don't care.
I don't follow it, but it's somewhere that I would want to.
Don't care about stupid hats and giddy up and stupid get ups. And, I'm not a suit guy, so not really interested.
256-576-4977 would get you going.
One thing on this show, I tell the truth.
on a Monday morning, I bet you would have fun, though. I bet you if you could just
not like much for a mint julep either, whatever the hell they call it.
Yeah, I would not be in on the mint juleps, not in on those, but I would be in on the food, and I would be in on watching it from a certain perspective. Now, a lot of people go general admission tickets and they sit and they stand in the infield and then they watch it, and that's not where I'd want to be. I would want to be somewhere with the highfalutins, but that ain't never going to happen. 256-576-4977. Join us on a Monday. A lot of baseball in the books, college baseball, SEC wise. Boy, the SEC is just crazy and nutty, especially when you have to go on the road. Just ask number 1 Texas, who had to go on the road this past weekend to Arkansas. And boy, Texas, big series for Arkansas, ugly series for Texas this weekend. 28 runs they surrendered in that series, the most in their previous 3 SEC series combined.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, they finally hit a wall. Slice Nagel and them did, but everybody has these peaks and valleys in a league as tough as this. I mean, you got to give Van Horn and his kids credit. They were frustrated coming in. They'd lost 3 series in a row after being in the top 5 in the country, really top 3 most of the year. And so it's very tough to play in Baum Stadium. And so in Texas learned that. And that's the way it's going to be in the SEC. It's just like when you look at Texas and Oklahoma in softball. The SEC softball tournament will be in Athens, Georgia, starting on Tuesday. And Oklahoma won the league, but they lost 7 conference games. This wasn't the 1 or 2 loss Bush League that they used to do in the Big 12, with 1 or 2 of those losses coming to the Texas Longhorns. The Longhorns lost 8 softball games. When you're in a league as tough as the SEC, a lot of it is about mental toughness and bouncing back. And certainly the Auburn Tigers have bounced back. They had it happen to them a few weeks ago when they went to number 1 Texas. They were playing well. They got swept out of town, but now they've bounced back. And, boy, they got a huge road series win this weekend in Knoxville against Tony Vitello and the Rat Bat crew and beat them.
Tony Vitello ejected in that series. And the Tennessee media, the Tennessee faithful, they were a little hot under the collar, so to speak, because game 1 of that series was raining. Yeah. Auburn comes to bat. They get a home run. Yeah. They get the 3 outs to Tennessee. They in between innings. Then the Auburn played that top half of the first in a downpour. Bottom half of the first, the referees decided it was unplayable conditions, and so they suspended the game. Tennessee felt like that was unfair because Auburn didn't have to use a pitcher. Tennessee had to use a pitcher, and that kind of started a little bit of the tension there in that series.
Well, Tennessee creates all the tension because of the way they play and coach. They're a great program, but let's not get it twisted. We all know behind the scenes what Tony Vitello has thought of and what the program's thought of. Not going to sit here and mince words either. They're a great program, but let's just say they skirt the rules a little bit too. And if things were enforced, they might be in a little bit of hot water.
Right.
But, that's all I'm going to say. But they're a great program. And if you're not going to enforce the rules and they're going to, operate in gray areas, then you do that. and he's been able to get away with it. But let's just put it like this: it's far from the first confrontation that Tony Vitello has.
He lives on the edge. He pushes all the buttons.
Into it with pretty much everybody.
Right.
I mean, he's a hell of a coach, but he's a peckerhead. Okay, let's understand that too. But I mean, he makes more than any coach in the country. They're the defending national champs.
Right.
He's making $3 million a year. He's taking that program to unprecedented heights. All of that's correct. But he also operates on the edge. And again, that's not Auburn's call. That's the umpires. Okay. And the SEC umpires suck. I sat through it yesterday watching Alabama blow a game against Vanderbilt when they struck a guy out twice on 2 pitches down the middle and Moron-a-thon behind the plate called it a ball both times. And of course, then the next half inning, it was a strike. I'd get ejected from every other game with those clowns. They don't even, Justin LeBron struck out on a pitch that was a foot off the plate. I mean, I thought Eric Gregg had come back to life. I mean, my God. But I will say this, though.
Officiating in basketball worse, or is it worse in baseball?
It doesn't matter. Football, basketball, baseball, they all stink. They're overpaid. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a joke. But, of course, there's a referee shortage. That's what they always say. Just listen to the AHSAA, who's now charging even more money for, the NFHS network to bleed more people. But anyway, I'll just say
they up the cost.
Oh, of course, $13.99. They don't tell you. They just charge you.
$13.99 a month.
Yeah.
For NFHS.
Before you know it, it'll be $20 a month so they can line their wallets and live like it's 1990, But again, I'll just say overall, though, and I'm not going to make excuses, though. Alabama didn't lose game 3 against Vanderbilt because of the idiot behind the plate. He certainly didn't help, and he was terrible, but they lost because in the 9th inning, you've got to have a left fielder that can judge a fly ball and make a catch. You got to have, you can't hit batters. The Alabama's closer who had thrown 2 innings the night before and shut him down, Carson Osborne's had a great year. He hadn't blown a save till yesterday. And then he hit a batter. Then he actually should have worked his way out of it. They bunted the 2 runners over because they were down 7-5. They got that out. The next batter, he saw it off and threw him out at first. And then Vandy had basically run themselves out of the game. The young man at second base broke to third, and yet Alabama's All-American shortstop, Justin LeBron, wasn't on second base. If he's standing on second base, you throw behind the runner and he's out, but he's off in Never Land and didn't do his job. And so you can't give Vanderbilt extra outs, and that's 2 extra outs they gave him by not judging a fly ball in left, and then not picking up Cade Snell's mistake, who was the left fielder, by throwing behind the runner. But you weren't on the right base, and then what happens after that? You're still an out away from winning, but Osmer gives up a double for the tie, and then a 2-run homer to lose, and you lose the game. And so it just wasn't. Execution was just terrible. I mean, the defense and the pitching and the bottom of the 9th was horrendous. And then I'll also call out the coaching staff, because I'm not going to sit here and BS. Osmer had pitched 2 innings the day before, had not pitched back-to-back games the entire season. He is your best guy. There's no question about it. But you had 3 straight lefty hitters coming up for Vanderbilt. The last one was in the bottom of the 8th after they'd given up a tough luck solo homer to make it 7-3, and then the next batter walked after he was struck out twice when Mo, Larry, and Curley decided not to ring him up, and then the next batter hit a 2-run homer, and so it's 7-5. But then you bring in the lefty Heiberger, Oak Mountain kid. He's had a good year. He strikes out with the first of the 3 straight lefties, strikes him out, and makes it and looks good doing it. Now, the next hitter to lead off the next inning was a switch hitter. Probably would have decided to hit right instead of left, but I still think you probably leave Heiberger in, and then if somebody gets on, you bring in Osmer. But again, like I said, it was a complete, total, utter collapse and failure. And now Alabama loses that series that they had a chance to win on the road. and they've got 7 games left. They've got their last midweek game against the Troy team that's really good. They beat Troy 4-2 in Tuscaloosa early in the year, but Troy has not lost a series all year. I mean, not a conference win, not an out of conference, and now Alabama's got a chance to go over there. It's going to be tough, but Troy is a solid 2 right now.
There was a lot of expectations surrounding Troy the very, very beginning of the year. They were ranked inside the top 25 to begin the year. There was a lot of expectations that Troy would be an NCAA tournament team.
But Alabama needs to go 5-2, in my opinion, in their last 7 games if they want to host a regional. Right now, they're still solidly inside the top 20, even with that utter choke collapse yesterday. And so they need I think they need to beat Troy and go undefeated in midweek because they haven't lost a midweek game all year. And then they need to win the last 2 series. I'm not saying sweep, because sweeping in the SEC, we just got through talking about it. It happens every once in a blue moon. Alabama has swept Missouri, who may be the worst team in the history of the SEC. And then
Missouri is just awful on a lot of levels. Not just Missouri is down right now.
They are. And then they swept Texas A&M early. They got A&M early, but you very rarely sweep in the SEC. So Alabama's got their last home series coming up Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that'll be against Georgia. And I think they need to take 2 out of 3 against Georgia at home. I definitely am not anticipating a sweep. Georgia's really good, and it's going to be tough to take the series, period. They really swing the bats well under Wes Johnson. And then their last series is against the suddenly red-hot Florida Gators. The Gators were 1-11 to start the season. Their first 4 series were horrendous, but as
they're
usual,
now 11-13.
O'Sullivan's figured it out, and they were dominant this weekend, sweeping South Carolina. And now they go to Texas. What's going to be a mad Texas team after that switch. So that's going to be a fascinating series. But Alabama will be on the road in Gainesville, and I think they need to take 2 out of 3. And if they were to do that, if you can go 5-2 in your last 7, which is not going to be easy, then Alabama would be 41-14 overall and 17-13 in the SEC. And to me, if you win 17 SEC games, you got a really good shot to host a regional. But otherwise, not so sure, because Auburn's put themselves in really strong host position with what they did this weekend on the road, taking 2 out of 3.
Yeah, and South Carolina, boy, I tell you what, they've pulmonary down there.
Thank the Lord for Missouri.
There's a lot of people that are scratching their heads with some decisions that he is making down there in his first year.
Tough. I mean, there's a very good chance they may end up going 5-25 in the league, and Mizzou could end up 0-30. But but to be honest with you, you're talking about. I think the SEC's got a chance because now it's with this expansion and everything, you got a 16-team league.
Yep,
they've got a chance to get 14 in because Kentucky is and Texas A&M have really good RPIs, KPIs, whatever you want to say. And I think, and Mississippi State, because Mississippi State swept Kentucky this weekend. Mississippi State, since the firing of Chris Lemonis, is 4-0. And I think that in the way their schedule sets up, I believe they host Ole Miss, and Ole Miss lost 2 out of 3 to Oklahoma on the weekend in Norman, and then they get Missouri. So you're talking about having a chance to win 5, maybe 4 or 5 more games within the league. And I think Mississippi State would be a solid 2 at that point, and still looking to hire a new baseball coach. But I think they would be in the NCAA tournament. Alabama, like I said, they can still host, but they put themselves in a tough position. And if they can't, in my opinion, if they don't go 5-2, I think they're going to be a 2 seed. But we'll see, because as we've been talking about it, starting May 20th in Hoover, this SEC baseball tournament is wide open.
Yeah.
It's win or go home every round. It's just the top 4 seeds will be given byes, and everybody else will be having to play every day.
All right, I tell you, let's get our first break in of the morning. When we come back, we'll talk some college football, some high schools. We got all kinds of stuff. It is a Monday. We're going to get it all through in 2 hours. It's Talking Ball Live, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
We're still accident-free this morning. Traffic at a heavy level all across the valley, but I don't see any major snags. You be careful. Maybe we can keep it that way. Do you know who to call when you need a heart doctor? You could write it down now so you have it in the future. Dr. Randall Burns is at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
You can now do more without it costing you more. Alabama's attractions have come together to offer the all-in-one ticket that downloads to your mobile device. No matter how many attractions listed on the ticket you see during the time span you bought, your price stays the same. Pick the right ticket option that best fits your schedule, and then enjoy more attractions without spending more. All-in-one tickets for different areas of Alabama are available at alabama.travel and other places where online tickets are sold. Brought to you by Alabama Tourism Department, the ABA, and this station.
Hey, brother. Saw you call.
John, I've been thinking about our days during the war, and
I'm on my way.
Thanks, man.
If you are a veteran struggling with depression, anxiety, or need someone to talk to, call 800-273-8255. Press 1. It's private and free 24/7. Call 800-273-8255 or visit vetsforhope.com. Sponsored by the Partners of Alabama's Challenge and the Alabama Broadcasters Association.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penney Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penney perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penney Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penney Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPenneyToyota.com. Bill Penney's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at SensaGreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Attention, may I have the camp's attention?
Your home of the college football playoffs.
Playoffs?
Is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Playoffs?
Welcome back. Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. We were talking SEC baseball there. before the break, and something just popped into my mind. You mentioned the SEC baseball tournament. This is, the SEC has taken 16 teams into the tournament, but the good news is Birmingham is somewhat centrally, or Hoover, I should say, is somewhat centrally located. I mean, Texas will have to travel a little bit, but Florida, but they're not going cross country. Think about this Big Ten tournament now, where they're playing it in Omaha, and all of these teams. Can you think about the cross country flights that some of these teams are going to make to play one 9-inning baseball game and then be done? Because of the expanded conferences.
Think of the ACC tournament when Stanford and Cal are having to come all the way across.
That's what I'm.
Cal might want to think about dropping baseball again. They almost did years ago.
You're gonna travel cross country and you're gonna play one 9-inning game, and you're gonna spend. I mean, it's not cheap.
It's interesting too, because when you change conferences,
right?
A lot of times there's a different style of play too.
True.
And a lot of small ball happens on the West Coast, bunting, playing defense. And let's just say, and again, I didn't really check it until this weekend, because you're looking at standings, you're starting to scoreboard watch, see where you may end up going. And then there was a huge ACC series this weekend, Florida State and Clemson. They're two of the maybe at the top of that league. And then NC State's had a good year, though they had, I think, a rough weekend because Miami's caught fire. But I just happened to look to see how Cal and Stanford, and these are two programs,
right?
Even though Cal half the time, not really surprised with the weed whackers, but they have trouble with their money and stuff, and so they've almost dropped it. But they've had good program and good baseball.
No, they have.
Okay,
yes.
And we know that Stanford has been a powerhouse. All right. Well, it's been a little rough the first years in the ACC for them. Cal overall is 18-27, and Stanford is, I think, I saw 24-20. So they're not exactly tearing it up in their new locale, having to fly across the country and then
they're gonna
adjust to the new competition.
They're going to have to fly across the country.
Remember, I said this though. I said, how would it affect some of these teams?
Right.
Because there's no more Pac-12. You got so many rivalries, got people playing similar type baseball, and now all of a sudden, boom, you're Cal and Stanford. You're playing against all these Southeastern type teams and East Coast, and then you just mentioned the Big Ten tournament, Oregon and Washington.
Now they have to fly to Omaha. They play that in Omaha, so it's not as far. But Cal and Stanford are going to have to fly to Durham, North Carolina to play one game, perhaps one game, and then fly right back home if you lose that, and then you're done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at least the SEC baseball tournament, somewhat centrally located, somewhat centrally teams. I mean, like I said, Texas, and then you got Arkansas, Florida, South Carolina. Those are some of the ones. I mean, they travel a little bit, but it's nothing compared to what some of these other conferences are going through and what some of these other teams are having to spend money on to transfer or to fly across the country to play potentially one baseball game.
Well, yeah, and then I don't know why you hadn't been bragging, because I knew they were having a good year, and Alabama played them in a tournament, but your Iowa Hawkeyes are in first place in the Big Ten.
Wow.
They're 21-6 overall, and then this has been like a lifeline for USC baseball. They have stunk for years, and now they're up near the top. Now, it's not surprising to me. It's your Hawkeyes.
There we go.
And then 4 straight Pac-10 teams that are now, or Pac-12 teams that are now in the Big Ten. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the Big Ten right now, because you've got UCLA in second place overall. That's 17-7. Oregon 16-8. USC 16-8, and Washington 15-9, as they get a chance to play against all these other teams that just love baseball, that play when it's 25 degrees to start the season. But it's it's interesting. But
tell you what, though, you look at those Big Ten standings, and I'm looking at it, and you got Iowa, an original Big Ten team. But then you have a Pac-12, Pac-12,
That's
Pac-12, Pac-12.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And then you have Michigan. Then you got Big Ten, Big Ten, Big Ten.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes to show you that, I mean, it is rough. I am shocked Iowa is 21-6.
I'd seen them earlier, like in a tournament, like when they were playing in one of these round robin tournaments. They're pretty good.
But it doesn't surprise me that the Pac-12 teams, the former Pac-12 teams, are near the top of the Big Ten standings because, number one, I guarantee you they've played way more home games.
Yeah.
Especially in the first part of the season than what Iowa, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana did. I mean, because you got to spend the first month and a half on the road usually. That does not surprise me that it is that way. It's kind of funny, but it does not surprise me that a lot of the traditional Big Ten teams, Ohio State, Minnesota, Maryland, Purdue, Northwestern, Michigan State, they're all at the bottom of the Big Ten standings.
Obviously, Ohio State's not spending a lot of money on the NIL baseball.
No.
Because they suck.
No.
They're about as bad as South Carolina and Missouri.
You bring that up, and I did look and I did delve into a little bit more of the Texas spending $40 million, $35 to $40 million. And apparently it is something that is happening this year for Texas football. But Chris Conte, the AD there at Texas, says that it's a combination of a Texas One fund, the collective and the school. It's a combination of the collective and the school paying players this 1 year. After this year, Texas will stop the collective.
Yeah, it's absorbing it or something.
The collective is going away.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, they are saying that this year is the 1 year only where the school and the collective are going to be paying the players together. So that's where the $35 to $40 million is coming from. But still, that is what they are expected to pay for their roster this year.
And I hope they choke.
Oh my goodness. Oh my, we got to get a break here because when we come back, Mark Etheridge is going to join us. We'll delve into some more collegiate baseball conversation. We'll whip around the diamond with Mark Etheridge next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Temperature is going to be falling into the upper 40s to lower 50s for this Monday night. Expect to sit under a mostly clear sky. Mostly clear sky turns into mostly sunshine for our Tuesday. Not expected to see any rainfall. High temperatures warming into the mid-70s for the afternoon. Rain looks to return back to the Tennessee Valley on Wednesday. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penney Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penney perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penney Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penney Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPenneyToyota.com. Bill Penney's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, If you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Minor accident on 565 about exit 3. That's on the eastbound side. I think that one was caused by debris in the roadway. Should have it clear pretty quick. Heavy traffic load, bumper to bumper all across the valley. You be careful on the rest of your trip in. Officers, construction workers, and first responders are putting their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. You can make it safer for them. Slow down or move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo. You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Oh, 7:33 on a Monday morning. Big thank you to Talon Heating and Air for helping us kick off hour number one. 256-503-4490. Let their talent do the work for you. You can find them online at talenthvac.com as well. Talked a lot of college baseball in hour number one, and it's getting down to that nitty-gritty time. And if you look at the SEC standings, you're going to think, well, we've got a bunch of average teams because you got a lot of teams kind of log jammed there in the middle and, you know, a couple games over 500. And you're thinking, well, I don't know if they're really any good. No, the SEC is so good that we're creating that log jam in that middle there because everybody, it's a gauntlet week in and week out.
It really is. It's the best league in the country. It's the deepest league in America, and certainly the addition of number one Texas and a really good Oklahoma team has only made it that much more difficult to finish the meat grinder that is the SEC regular season schedule. And we're going to talk to one of our favorite guys around this time of year. We catch up with him several times because his organization, D1Baseball.com, with he and Kendall Rogers, do about the best job of covering the sport of college baseball that there is. He does an outstanding job as a senior writer for them. I've known him for many, many years, and he's been kind enough to join us to start talking about this postseason that's looming for college baseball. And, of course, I'm talking about Mark Etheridge here on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Mark, you're with Drew and Scott. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. We're here. We're at the stretch run.
Yes. I mean, it's already here. So what is your immediate thoughts on the SEC? I mean, it's been about as big a meat grinder. It looked like Texas was running away. Scott talked about that this morning, but not after the weekend, the tough one they had at Baum Stadium. Now, all of a sudden, we've got a race.
Amazing what happens when you got to go on the road, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's really tough to win on the road in this conference. And Texas had been fortunate in that their road games, I mean, they really hadn't had they hadn't been anywhere like Fayetteville, right? And, and we all wondered what would happen once they did because they've been so good at home. I was in Austin, I guess, 2 weeks ago when they swept Texas A&M. Came away really impressed. They're just one of those teams that plays. They make the big the big defensive play or the clutch hit or the big pitch. And in over a period of time in baseball, that stuff tends to even out. And it's really challenging to continue to win that way, win all the close games, because they pretty much were winning all the 50-50 games. And so then they went on the road to Arkansas, and I've been telling people, Arkansas's best is the best in the country. You just don't get their best every time. And they were really good this weekend and put it on Texas. And for Arkansas, it was kind of weird because they lost 3 series in a row.
Yeah.
And they needed this, and they were able to really step forward and have one of the most impressive weekends that anyone's had all year.
And then for Texas, they had some gaffes that we've not seen. I mean, base running gaffes, and to the point where Schlossnagle, I mean, he just furious, pulling guys, just little tiny mistakes that we've not seen from Texas kind of rear its head in this weekend series.
Absolutely. And those things happen over the course of a year. And I do think that this was good for Texas. I mean, you never want to lose, but they had, this had been pretty easy for them. They were 19-2 heading into this weekend. And for them to get, to a little dose of reality that you're not going to run away from everyone in this league, and especially a team like Arkansas, who might be the best team in the country. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how Texas regroups. They host Florida this coming weekend. Florida's playing as well as anybody right now after getting off to a terrible. They were 1-11 in SEC play, and since then I think they're 10-2. I mean, they're just really, really playing well. So that'll be just a really interesting matchup next weekend.
And then they end at Oklahoma. So I mean, they can still easily win this regular season race, but again, it's not set in stone. And with Arkansas and the way they can play, and I've heard exactly what you've had, that I haven't seen Arkansas a ton this year, but they lead the SEC in hitting. They've got a really nice pitching staff that seems to be rounding into form. Van Horn's team, from what I heard Chris Burke say yesterday, he thought they were the complete team in the league.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like that in a short, like over the course of a season, Texas consistency has won out. But I think over a short period of time, you're talking about a few weeks of a postseason, I think Arkansas is the favorite.
What are your thoughts then? And then on the SEC, we'll delve into Alabama and Auburn and Tennessee, but with the 16 teams now in the SEC baseball tournament, and you mentioned Arkansas, a favorite. I mean, how do you look at that tournament now with just being a one-game scenario and everybody going to Hoover?
Yeah, that's really the question everyone has. Is, in the years past, you had double elimination format, so you were guaranteed that, if you won the play-in, you're guaranteed 2 games. And now it's you've got double buys for the top 4 teams. You've got single buys for the top 8, and then 9 through 16 are playing on opening day. And it's going to be, from a fan support standpoint, I think it's going to be interesting to see who travels when you're only guaranteed 1 game. I think that will be interesting. And the other thing I'll point out is there's often not a whole lot to gain for these teams in Hoover. Now, there's always someone, with something to play for. So a lot of times they're really careful with their pitching. You don't want to wear guys out. You want to keep them fresh for when the games really matter the next week in regional play. And I think with this format, your best teams are going to play the fewest games, right? And the teams that really need wins, they're going to be playing on that first day. So they're going to have to keep winning to get through it. So I think from that standpoint, you're giving teams that have things to play for, who are trying to improve their seeding, trying to host, trying to get in the field, giving them more opportunities. Meanwhile, the teams that really have nothing to play for, they're not going to be stretched, right? So they're only going the top 4 teams can play is 3 games. So I think that'll be fascinating just to see how this all plays out this year.
And right now, I think, is it safe to say, Mark, that only 2 teams, Missouri, which is having a historically bad year, and then Palm Area's first year at South Carolina, they're the only 2, looks like, that'll be going into Hoover basically with having to win the tournament to get in.
Yeah, you've got 14 teams that are in the hunt for regional play. We're going to have our bracketology podcast tonight, call it the Nerdcast, where we go through and try to decide who's going to be in and who's not. And there are going to be 14 SEC teams on the board. I don't know if there's going to be room for all of them, but certainly with what Mississippi State did this weekend,
right.
Kentucky, and then Florida with the way that they've just come on strong. Texas A&M, another team that we kind of buried, they won a series over LSU this weekend and now have series wins at Tennessee, at Arkansas, and over LSU. They're going to be in the field. So it's one of these things. Basketball had 14 teams out of the 68. In baseball, the SEC is going to try to get 14 out of 64, and that's certainly unprecedented. But we've never had leagues this big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about that Auburn Tennessee series this past weekend?
Huge for Auburn.
Yeah.
I think now they've won what, 6 of their last 8 or 6 of their last 8 series.
Yeah. I mean, Auburn is playing really well right now. I mean, they whipped Tennessee this weekend. I mean, they won 2 games comfortably. The game that Tennessee won went 11 innings. I mean, it was Auburn's series, and that's really odd to say considering traditionally how well Tennessee has played in Lindsey Nelson. But they've lost their last 3 home series now, and I just I don't understand it. The talent is there. They're just not performing at the level that you would expect. I mean, early in the year, I thought they were the best team in the country, and now I'm not even sure they're going to host because, I mean, they've got a really hard road. They host Vanderbilt, who's playing really well and can really pitch it, and then they have to go to Arkansas. So if they lose both those series, I mean, they're going to have to go into Hoover and win some games to host. So it's just a really interesting dynamic considering how talented they are, how well they reloaded, but they're just not able to win enough games right now.
And then Alabama, gut-wrenching loss for them yesterday. They got really good starting pitching all 3 days in Nashville, and as you said, Vanderbilt can really pitch it. But they're up 7-2, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, and then everything kind of falls apart.
Yeah, 2 innings. I mean, it really was the difference. They give up 7 runs in the last 2 frames against Vanderbilt to get walked off 9-7. And if Alabama would have held on and won that series, I think we would have had them projected to host this week. I really think that's how slim the margins are. And since they lost, they're going to have to win these next 2 series. They host Georgia, who's a really good team, but who doesn't play all that great on the road. And then they go to Florida, who's really playing well right now, and that's in Gainesville. So I do feel like with what Alabama did, that loss, it really changed the trajectory of their season because they have no margin for error now if they want to host, and they're probably in that 18 to 20 range right now nationally, and so it's within their grasp, but they're going to have to earn it. Where if they would have hung on to a 5-run lead with 4 outs left, then we'd be telling a whole different story today.
And they have to go to Troy, and Troy's had a really good year under Skylar Meade. I would think they'd be one of the more dangerous potential 2 seeds, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, Troy is the only team in the country that has not lost a weekend series all year. So they've won 2 out of 3 pretty much every weekend. And they had a huge win. They hit a grand slam in the 9th inning to win a rubber game over South Alabama yesterday. So Troy's a quality program that's certainly on the rise. And Skylar Meade, he's a future SEC head coach. I mean, it's just a matter of time for him.
What is the rest? So we focused a lot on the SEC. We talked a lot of the SEC baseball. What does the rest of the landscape around college baseball look like nationally? I mean, outside of the SEC, we know how deep it is, but who else kind of has your eye a little bit around the country?
Yeah, certainly Florida State. I feel like they're the team to beat in the ACC. Really strong pitching staff, and their offense is also pretty strong as well. I feel like they played Clemson this weekend and took the series, but it was a really competitive matchup. The ACC is number 2 from a conference standpoint. They've probably got 9-10 teams that are going to make have a chance to get to the postseason, and a couple of those are going to win regionals. And I feel like after that, there's really a drop off. I mean, the Big 12 is really balanced, but there's not that elite team or teams that the other 2 leagues have. And then the Big 10 is so odd because you brought in the West Coast wing to it, and they're just running roughshod over everyone else in that league. If you look at those numbers, I mean, UCLA, USC, Oregon, and Washington, when they play those traditional Big 10 teams, they're beating them. So that's going to be fascinating to see what the committee does with all of these oversized leagues now. The schedules are so unbalanced. It's really hard, even within the league, to compare teams. And then you're trying to do it across leagues that are really unbalanced as well.
Well, I've got to ask you though, Scott's Iowa Hawkeyes are in first place in that Big 10. Are they going to have a chance to host?
Well, they've had a really no, they will not. But they've had a really good year. Their problem is, I mean, last time I looked, their intra-conference strength of schedule was last in the Big 10. So they were able to beat up on the teams they're supposed to beat and get a gaudy record. And then, this weekend they went to Washington and got thumped. So I just feel like Iowa has had a great year, and I think they'll probably make the postseason. But it's a little bit of fortunate scheduling that's allowed them to do that. Now, to their credit, they've won the games, and not everyone does. But I do feel like they've had a really, really nice season.
And I wanted to circle back because we haven't spoken with you since the change, but so far 4-0 since Chris Lemonis was let go about a week ago today from Mississippi State. And we saw Alabama go on a run like this and host a regional when they dismissed Brad Bohannon and elevated Jason Jackson, the pitching coach. So where do you see Mississippi State looking? Because this is a traditional power and probably a top 10 job in the country, and they're going to spin for baseball.
Yeah, baseball's important there. Obviously, you don't build a cathedral like they did,
right?
To sneak into regionals, and I think that's where they were when they let Chris go. I feel like they are 4-0 since they made the move, and sometimes just relax. You just kind of change. You don't press. You kind of feel like what the heck, and just go out there and play. And they whipped Kentucky this weekend. They won 3 in a row. Conference-wise, they host Ole Miss, and then they go to Missouri, who's awful. So they have a great chance to go into the postseason. And wouldn't that be a story, right? I mean, you fire your coach, and then you go on this run, and you're able to have some success. I do think, I mean, they're going to kick the tires on a lot of the big-name coaches around there and just see who bites. The thing to remember is with the House settlement, there's a lot of uncertainty around how baseball will be funded, especially outside the power couple of leagues. So you have some people that maybe you would not be able to get in another year who are going to say, I don't know if I'm going to be able to compete nationally from a financial standpoint anymore with my program, and who might be willing to make a move to a place like Mississippi State.
It's going to be very interesting, no doubt about it. Well, once again, Mark, let everybody know how to connect with you. And like you said, you guys are going to have your first field of 64 tonight at d1baseball.com.
Yeah, we do projections each week, and we have a podcast where we go through and give you a peek behind the curtain, and you're able to watch us live as we put the field together on d1baseball.com. And the other thing I'll point out is, postseason race, we'll have all the analysis, we have all the scouting information, we have all the advanced statistics, anything you need to follow college baseball, you can get it at D1 Baseball.
Well, we appreciate it, Mark. We look forward to catching up with you again soon as this postseason looms. It's going to be a great one, but thank you as always. Great intel, and have a great rest of your week.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Thanks. 7:51 on a Monday morning. Let's get our break in. We'll wrap up hour one next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got an injury wreck reported Parkway and Clinton. Looking at the Parkway, though, north and southbound traffic's moving okay through the area. Maybe on Clinton itself. 565 eastbound at mile marker 3 should be cleared up now. And we got a traffic signal problem at Jordan and Bob Wallace. That one's on flash. HPD should be there directing traffic. D&L Refrigeration repairs heating and air conditioning units for homes and businesses. Ask about their military, law enforcement, and senior discounts. D&L 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof, not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
I'm here with Thomas from Talkin Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bad compressor or leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talkin Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
Tom Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. You know, if you're a contractor installing fences, you need Valley Equipment Rental for augers of all sizes. And if you need a forklift to get those shingles up high on a roof, Valley Equipment has 10K lifts that reach to 56 feet. Valley also has tow-behind lifts that have a working height of 35 to 55 feet as well for power washing those two-story homes or doing whatever else you need to do. Lifts, forklifts, tow-behind lifts, 35 feet and up. They have your lift at Valley Equipment Rental. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Oh, we're counting down to the end of hour number 1 here on Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Top of the hour, Bryan Mathews will join us. We've shed a little light in it, but Auburn baseball coming off that big series against Tennessee. But then the SEC softball tournament is going to get underway.
Got an Iron Bowl meeting there.
Yeah, and did they? I don't know. They did not face each other during the regular season, which is still unbelievable because.
Well, it's because this league's so big now. I mean, there's
right, but
times you don't.
It's
play.
been several seasons now that it's happened. Not just an oddity this year, but it's been a couple seasons in a row where Auburn and Alabama really haven't faced each other on the softball diamond. Yeah. Which I think is, it's something that I know it's unbalanced schedules, but still.
And Alabama, they were affected by weather on the road at South Carolina, another ranked program. They won the first game 13-1, very impressively. But then the next two, they lost a tough one 3-1 that was rain delayed and then finished. And then the last game was actually rain shortened. It only played 5 innings, lost that one 7-2. So they're 12-12. They've got a good strength of schedule and KPI, RPI, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Right.
But and the SEC softball tournament this is actually it's been this way for a few years now. It's one and done, where everything is single elimination. But I would think Alabama might need to win a game or two to cement hosting.
They are the 10th seed coming into this tournament. They will start tomorrow against number 15 Auburn.
Right.
Georgia and Kentucky will start the day at noon.
Mm-hmm.
And then 35 minutes after that one, Ole Miss and Missouri. That's your 11 and 14 seeds. And then 35 minutes after that one, Alabama and Auburn will play. 10 and 15 are your seeds there.
Yeah, and Alabama still has a chance to host and be a top 16 seed. Now, I don't think they'll host supers, and they didn't last year. If you remember, they won their regional and then had to go on the road to Tennessee, and it was glorious. They beat the Vols and sent them home and got to Oklahoma City. And I think they'd have to do a similar thing this year. But if they can't beat Auburn in the first game or they lose in round 2, I don't know. That streak of hosting regionals might come to an end, and they may have to travel somewhere and be a 2, but we'll see.
The winner of the Alabama-Auburn softball game tomorrow will take on South Carolina.
Which would be a rematch for Alabama. Just saw them 3 games.
Yes.
Yep.
Your teams that get the double buys, Oklahoma, the 1 seed, followed by Texas A&M, then Texas and Tennessee. Those are your 4 double buys. They will not play until the quarters on the 8th of May. So, all right, Bryan Mathews next.
This is Brent Musburger's BSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Joey Logano edged Ross Chastain for the victory at the Texas Motor Speedway yesterday. Logano's first of the season, 37th of his career. He is 12-1 to win the Cup championship. Kyle Larson, the favorite at 3-1. Christopher Bell plus 450. Ryan Blaney and Danny Hamlin are both at 6-1. This week, the NASCAR Cup Series at the Kansas Speedway for the Advent Health 400. Atlanta Braves, another 48 favorite at home with the Cincinnati Reds today plus 124, 8.5 over the total. A.J. Smith-Shawver on the hill for the Braves. It's Brady Singer for the Reds, who are looking to end a 2-game losing streak. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
It's hour 2, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, DeArmond, Sports Med Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, helping us kick off hour number 2. 256-881-5151. If you want to experience the Sports Med difference, go ahead and give them a ring. They can take care of everything for you. We'll let you know what they can take care of you here, but they got all kinds of good stuff. Our good friends over at Sports Med Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center. Big things coming with them and us. We'll explain it all here over the next few weeks. The Auburn Tigers, again, when we talked about it, how big of a win it was for them to get the series win on the road in Knoxville. And what did that series win do for Auburn? Well, if you look at the SEC standings, all you got to know is that, yes, Texas, that was a big series for Arkansas, but that kind of brought Texas back just a little bit to the pack. But with Auburn's series win over Tennessee, it really, really created a logjam right there. Really 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah, it really did. Auburn did a great job in Knoxville battling the weather. I mean, the weather was all over the Southeast. It affected a ton of the series, no question about it. But Auburn, that was huge. And then Mark Etheridge did point out that this year Tennessee, for whatever reason, has lost 3 series at home already. But Auburn certainly got the job done and did a great job. And it's a huge series win for them when you're talking about potentially hosting and even being a top 8 national seed. Now that comes into play, and we're going to talk about that and more with our good friend since 2001. Covering the Auburn Tigers for AuburnSports.com, part of the Rivals Network, and that is Bryan Mathews, and he's going to join us this morning. Bryan, how are you, man?
I'm doing great, guys. How are y'all?
Doing good. Good seeing you.
We're doing well, and I mean, and an interesting time for Rivals as well with this merger with On3 that I saw last week.
Yeah, how about that? So I don't know when it all is actually going down, but yeah, I'm excited to see what the future holds. Fingers crossed too. You never know how things can shake up in these situations, but a lot of talent with both networks, and excited to see the future.
Well, I tell you, things got a little fiery, a little testy this weekend there in Knoxville.
It did. It started with the opening game, in a rainstorm. If you heard Ike Irish on the post-game radio, and I've got that in my Monday musings coming up here and this morning, but he said Auburn didn't like it that they didn't have the national anthem before the game, which how do you not have a national anthem before a baseball game? I don't understand. Maybe because of the rain, but then how do you have the game if you, I don't know. And then apparently after Liam Doyle, the Tennessee A's, struck out Chris Rembert, the first batter in the top of the first, has some words to say. And then, Ike Irish came up 2 batters later with a runner on and hit that towering 2-run home run there to give Auburn the lead there right before the game was called and postponed until the next day.
Well, I mean, come on, Bryan. Tennessee, they don't talk trash and try to do, piss ant things on the baseball diamond. I mean, come on now. They do everything above board.
And then, of course, Doyle gets ejected later in the game, which I didn't realize watching it. And then Vitello got ejected the next day. So, or later the next game, that was same day. But, some wild stuff there in Knoxville. But I thought Auburn handled all that really, really well and came on top with a nice series win. Nearly came away with the sweep, to be honest.
Yeah, they were. Really close. I mean, a 5-4, 11-inning loss in Game 2, but to come back and win so decisively in Game 3, I thought was a huge statement. 8-1.
Yep, because they were up 4-3 in the 9th there, and Tennessee was able to tie it and then win it in the 11th on the next day. And to have a tough defeat like that, everything that went down, to come back and just take care of business, I thought was impressive for this team. I think this team has really grown a lot over the season. I think they're a really quality ball club now, and I think they have a chance. You look at South Carolina coming to town, then Ole Miss on the road. They've got a chance to finish strong and potentially push themselves into a top 8 national seed just because they have the nation's #1 strength of schedule. RPI, I haven't looked at this morning, but I'm sure it's still top 5 after that weekend. So those are all pluses for Auburn.
Yeah.
What's been Auburn's biggest strength, Brian, in your mind so far?
Well, I think it's been little things, right? They've gone through stretches where the lineup hasn't produced, and now it's really starting to produce. The freshmen have come on, like Chris Rimbert. Ike Irish, once he's gotten back from his injury, has been incredible. He's playing like one of the best players in the conference, which he is. Cooper Murray's starting to come on. So I think the lineup is really coming together there. And then the pitching has steadily gotten better. Sam Dutton's been your guy you can rely on every Friday or Thursday night whenever he starts. And some of the guys are starting to just come into their own. I think Christian Chatterton, I don't think it's given up an earned run since sometime in April, which is or early April, I think. Maybe farther back than that. Maybe it's March. But they have just been just coming together. I felt this team is starting to peak at the right time of the season.
Yeah, no question, and that's the key. I mean, I know they had a rough patch, at the start of conference play, and then that sweep at Texas was tough, and but they've stabilized themselves, and then they've been in a heavy conversation to be a host, and then I saw Southeastern 16. We're very close to Chris Lee. I saw their first projection last week had Auburn as an 11, but as these last 4 weeks go by. And especially a win at Tennessee like that, you're starting to you move from being a short of a host and being a top 16 to potentially, which is where you really want to be, the top 8, which it means you're going to get a chance to host the supers as well as the regionals.
That's right. I mean, Auburn's 13-11. They just win the next 2 series. They finish 17 and 13, right, and that's knocking on the door of the top 8. It really is. So if you get a sweep somewhere in there and you win 18 SEC games, that's really plus the RPI, strength of schedule, and all that stuff. That certainly is a situation where Auburn can make the case there to be a top 8 seed with the toughness that is the SEC in baseball and really in every sport now. But it's pretty surprising because you looked at it a week or two or coming off of Texas. You just wondered exactly where Auburn was going to end up. You knew they were probably a tournament team, but you weren't sure if they were even a team that could host. And now they've made a nice little run, and here we are.
Mm-hmm. They have, and two, and then the schedule they go to South Carolina. Is that correct? And then, they host South Carolina, and then they go to Ole Miss to end
finish up. And I didn't see what Ole Miss did this weekend. I
they
think
lost 2 out of 3 to Oklahoma, so they took game 3. But this is where it kind of takes advantage. You talked about how hard it is to sweep at the SEC, yet you get South Carolina, who there's only really 2 bad teams in this league, and it's South Carolina and Missouri. So now you got a chance to get potentially 3 games in the schedule or in the league standings, and that could be huge headed to Ole Miss.
It really would be. You never can take anything for granted.
No.
Auburn's going to have to play well. They're not a team that can just show up and beat teams, right? They're a team that's got to fight really hard. So they got to keep that sort of mentality going against a team they're going to be picked to win in a series they'll be picked to win and possibly sweep. But a sweep would be huge for Auburn this upcoming weekend. I think every game or most games or most series are going to be Thursday through Saturday, the last 2 weekends, including Auburn.
Well, obviously baseball is front and center, coming off that series win against Tennessee, but Auburn softball, they start tomorrow in the SEC tournament in a first year for this coaching staff. Brian, obviously just trying to still figure things out, trying to get everything on the same page, I think, even heading into the SEC tournament.
Yeah, they have played better. They got off to a horrible start in the SEC after a pretty good non-conference schedule there, and but they have figured things out a little bit the last 3 or 4 weeks and playing much better. Don't know if that means they're going to go to the SEC tournament and make a lot of waves there. They got to play Alabama in the opening round there, I believe, which will be a very tough matchup for them. But they certainly made progress this season. It's just a matter for this program to start bringing in more talented players and start pushing, to be in the top half of this conference, which again is very, very competitive with the addition of Texas and Oklahoma.
And then if to swing back to Butch Thompson and Auburn baseball, I mean, we talked to you about that. It was a circus type atmosphere in a good way when they swept LSU at home. If they could potentially host the first two rounds, if they could win a regional and then go to the Supers, it would be, I think, a crazy atmosphere at the newly refurbished facility.
It really would be. You know, Auburn has hosted here lately,
yes,
but they haven't performed very well at home. So I think in a lot of ways, this team wants to host and they want to sort of turn that around. And I'm not sure if Auburn has hosted a super regional. I don't. Maybe my mind has just forgotten it, but I don't think they have. I need to go back and check that before I start running my mouth about it. But I think if they could do that, that would be a first too. So we'll see. I think they're in great shape to host at least a regional. And I think if they can finish really strong, they've got an opportunity to push into that top 8.
And that would be huge for Butch Thompson and Plainsman's Park. And I know when we heard him speak on it last year, he was just everybody was just couldn't wait for these facility upgrades to take place and be finished. And I heard him talking about on SC Network, Chris Burke and those guys yesterday talking about how beautiful the everything turned out. And certainly it would be a great opportunity for Auburn. But now to kind of switch gears, does it look like Auburn's done in the transfer portal? I know I've been keeping an eye on the portal every day. It seems like they're still announcing kids that are picking destinations, because once you're in the portal, you're in it. I mean, even past the deadline. But is there any other buzz that Auburn could add another piece or two?
I may have missed it covering baseball this weekend, but Carlos Moore, the offensive lineman from Elon, he visited last week, I believe it was, unless he's committed somewhere else. I think he's still out there for Auburn. And then basketball-wise, you saw James Scott from Louisville, a big 6'11" kid, come in for a visit this weekend. I think he's the last piece Auburn wants for basketball. They want one more big to fill out this roster, assuming they get to Todd Pettiford back. That hasn't been announced or decided officially yet, so that's one to watch. But it looks like both programs are nearing the end of their of what they're sort of filling out their roster through the portal.
And Todd Pettiford, to your point, did get his combine invite
which is
to head there, for the combine. So I imagine after that, a little bit of time, the Auburn coaches will know more about Todd Pettiford.
Yeah, and that's a good honor for him. It'll be a great experience. He'll be there with Janai Broom and a bunch of other really talented college and pro prospects. And, we'll see. I think the thought here from Auburn is that he's going to return. But you never know what's going to happen, right? When you get in these competitive situations, Todd is a really competitive dude and really talented. He could just go off. And so we'll see.
Yeah, the crazy thing is if he doesn't return, and that just shows you this portal era, and this was a veteran Auburn team, a very old team, best team in Auburn history, but they wouldn't return one guy from the roster if Todd Pettiford doesn't return.
That is crazy, right? It looks like they're going to at least bring in 10 newcomers along with Todd, make 11 scholarship guys. I think that's what they're aiming for, but you're right. If Todd declares, they got to go find out, they got to go find a veteran point guard who can shoot threes. I don't know how many of those guys are out there right now, but that's what they got to do.
Yeah, they really do, and we'll be watching it. But certainly, Bryan, we always appreciate your time. Let everybody know how to follow you. I know you said your Monday musings are going to go up soon, and we know there's still a lot going on campus at Auburn. As we already talked about, baseball down the stretch, softball, SEC tournament this week against Alabama, and then, of course, football portal, basketball portal. But let everybody know how to follow you.
And glad I'm not taking exams this week. Good luck to the students doing that, right?
That's right.
But I appreciate it. You can follow me on socials, BMattAU. You can check out auburnsports.com, sign up for a free trial. And Monday Musings, of course, sponsored by Delicious Uncle Keith's Red Sauce. I know you guys really enjoy it up there, homegrown.
We love it.
We do.
We love it.
Right here in the state of Alabama, in-state business here. And you can find at Publix, Piggly Wiggly's, Renfro's. Online, you can use BMAT15 for 15% off that order. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bryan. Always good to see Bryan Mathews in the morning there. Let's get a break in. When we come back, some college football conversation coming up next. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
That wreck at Parkway in Clinton should be out of the way now. Had a wreck 565 eastbound at mile marker 3. It should be clear. Haven't heard an update on the flashing traffic signal at Jordan and Bob Wallace. HPD was there directing traffic. Dr. Sandman has the Somnodent, a safe, insurance-approved alternative for snoring and sleep apnea. Dr. Randall Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 977 ESPN, the zone.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, the zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Welcome back in on the program on a Monday morning. Live from Bill Penney Toyota Service Department. Their doors are open and servicing vehicles. And let's see here. Genuine Toyota True Start batteries. Talking batteries today because they're right there for us. How about the best battery in the business? $219.95 will get you out the door with a Toyota True Start. They got some low as $69. And see your service advisor if you come out here. You never know. I mean, you don't ever know when a battery is going to go. I saw this over the weekend, and I did not know this. In college football, do you know which team has the most consecutive seasons without a losing record going into this year?
The most consecutive seasons.
Without a losing record.
Without a losing record. Interesting. I don't.
Boise State at 27.
Oh, wow. Even with Harsin coaching.
Alabama is number 2 on that list.
Well, we all know.
Oh, wow. So this is just coming out, courtesy of ESPN.
Okay.
Michigan football coach Sharon Moore is expected to get a 2-game ban for the Connor Stallion scandal.
Well, of course they can't penalize Jim Harbaugh since he ran to the NFL. So shocking that Michigan cheated and is getting sanctioned.
Dan Wetzel and Pete Thamel
he's going to get
contributing to that
because, of course, they cheated.
The suspensions will be for Michigan's 3rd and 4th week opponents, Central Michigan and Nebraska. It'll include being barred from any team-related duties during those weeks. Moore will also receive additional recruiting-related penalties. The NCAA could still further punish Moore, according to Wetzel and Thamel, in addition to any self-imposed school penalty. A final resolution is expected before the start of the season. Michigan opens the new year by hosting New Mexico before traveling to a high-profile non-conference game at Oklahoma in week 2. He will not be suspended for that game. It'll come the next week after that for Central Michigan and Nebraska.
Yeah, well, like we said, with all this stuff that was said about Connor Stallions, there had to be something going on. Okay, there was, when it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, it's a duck. Okay,
right.
Now they're not taking away their national championship, and they're not.
No.
I mean, everybody knew they're not going to do that, but they're going to get sanctioned. They were after Jim Harbaugh. The NCAA is a joke anyway, but I mean, look, Michigan can still navigate that. I mean, Nebraska. We'll see. Nebraska's Matt Rule's trying to improve that program, but I think it's basically just a slap on the wrist. We'll see if anything else comes out of it, but it's something that you look.
Didn't Harbaugh have a couple suspensions?
He did during the national championship season, and Sharon Moore navigated that and beat Ohio State, and that's why he got the head coaching job. So again, I don't think it's going to affect Michigan all that negatively. They'll get through it.
256-576-4977. That's the number to the phone lines. As I mentioned, Boise State, most consecutive seasons without a losing record at 27, followed by Alabama at 18. Georgia and Clemson both with 14.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's followed by Ohio State 13, Iowa 12, Memphis 11, Oregon 8, and Notre Dame 8.
I think Alabama's last one was probably Shula's final year when they lost the bowl game. And then Saban came along, and in the first year they were 7-6, not a great record, but that's what they were. And then they went on the huge run starting in 2008. But yeah, it's tough. But Boise State, they have had a lot of consistency in their program, and they've been able to dominate the Mountain West Conference. If they ever we're going to switch or end up in a new league, like for example, I know there was some speculation they might end up in the Big 12. I would like to see how they would compete there year in and year out. But again, Boise State, you got to give them credit. It's tough to do that 27 years in a row, but they're never going to win a national championship ever.
Yeah, that's not part of national champions. That is
not in an expanded college football playoff. They're not going to be able to beat the big dogs. Might win a game, but
right?
They ain't gonna win 3 of them.
256-576-4977. Now's a great time to join the program or the show on a Monday morning. I just thought that was kind of interesting.
No, it's interesting.
Yeah. And speaking of the Michigan Wolverines, we were just talking about them. Las Vegas, by the way, a couple days ago, coming out of the spring and everything, they put the Michigan Wolverines at a plus 850 to win the Big Ten championship. Their regular season wins, they put them over an 8.5 is their over-under for the new year. in case you're wondering, Ohio State favored to win the Big Ten at plus 175 with an over-under wins of 10.5. So that is just putting it out there after reports now that Sherrone Moore will be suspended 2 games for his role in the Connor Stalions. He was the offensive coordinator at that time. So that is why he is
suspended, not by the NCAA, by Michigan. They are trying to this is a self-policing kind of thing.
And that's why he won't be suspended for the Oklahoma game.
Not. Boomer.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'll tell you what, that's a game that Brent Venables needs, because Oklahoma needs to show improvement this year, because if they don't, he's in trouble. He's definitely going to be on a hot seat going into year 4 in Norman. I always try to say year 3, but it's not, because he had a poor year in year 1,
right,
good year in year 2, and he had Dylan Gabriel, and then and then we know Jackson Arnold, that did not go well. They end up with a 6-7 record, and now this will be year 4 for Venables, but he needs to get it back on track here.
If he doesn't,
fired.
8 wins.
8, he'd probably be all right, but
7.
If he ends up with 6 or 7, you might want to update your resume and start applying for defensive coordinator jobs. So maybe even in Auburn.
So that game then with Michigan is huge,
because Auburn needs to be better defensively this year.
Yeah,
and then Hugh, and again, Hugh,
Auburn as a whole needs to be.
I don't think Hugh's on the hot seat yet, though. I think Hugh, if he could win 8 this year, he'll be all right. But if Auburn underachieves again and ends up with winning only 6 or 7, then he'll probably be on the hot seat going into year 4. But I don't think
the roster that Auburn has built, is it capable of 8 wins?
I think so. But I thought so last year, and it wasn't. So we'll see. I think it's better, but I'm not. I still don't think it's a top 6 roster, 6-7 roster in the SEC. But we'll see.
All right, let's take a look here. So you were looking at their schedule. They open with Baylor.
Yeah, interesting
Which,
opener.
by the way, it's on the road. By the way, at Baylor.
Speaking of coaches on the hot seat, no question at Baylor.
And then Ball State is their second game.
That's a win.
South Alabama, that's potentially 3-0 or 2-1. But then you mentioned, this is where it gets interesting, because on September 20th, you talk about coaches that need a win. And Auburn has to travel to Norman, Oklahoma, and take on Brent Venables and the Sooners.
And again, I already said Dave Aranda in the opener.
Yes.
At Baylor, he needs to win, because I thought he was going to get the zig last year. And then you're talking about, as you said, week 4 on the road in Norman. And Auburn had that game won last year and just gagged. I mean, it was not good. It was a game that really should have won. So this is going to be an interesting trip to Norman for Hugh.
If you think 8 wins is what he would have to get,
right,
8 wins, you're looking at trips to Texas A&M, and then you got Georgia the next week, and then you have Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Mercer, and then Alabama.
I can't remember the last time Auburn beat Georgia.
So, I mean, but we're thinking 8 wins. I'll agree with you on needs 8 wins. I don't know. You look at this schedule, I don't know how feasible it is for them to get 8 wins.
It's tough. It's not an easy schedule. And again, that game in Norman will tell you a lot. It'll tell you if Hugh has a chance to surprise and get to 8 wins or more in year 3, and get where he needs to be. And then, of course, if he gets that win, then, I mean, I don't know. Venables is probably going to be in big trouble to even finish the season.
I mean, you can lose to Georgia, you can lose to Alabama, and you still have a potential to get, obviously, the 8 wins. But you're going to have to beat the Baylors. You're going to have to beat Oklahoma. You're probably going to have to beat Texas A&M on the road at Kyle Field. You're going to have to beat Missouri. You're going to have to beat Arkansas. You're going to have to beat Kentucky, and you're going to have to beat Vanderbilt.
Everybody beats Kentucky right now. Except for Ole Miss when it mattered. It's basketball season can tell you they're spending $20 million on a basketball roster, so they better go to the Final Four.
So what you're saying is the world is back to its normal state. Kentucky football is all full basketball.
Yeah, Kentucky gives a rat's crap about two sports: men's basketball and volleyball. That's it.
Oh, but Mark Stoops gets no love.
I mean, he's done it, and it's amazing the job he's done. Because again, and Kentucky actually has an underrated football fan base. They do support it.
No, they do.
But it's not going in the right direction right now. Stoops has had a great run. He is the winningest coach in Kentucky history. Now, it took him 75 years because Coach Bryant was there, I think, in 1950.
Right.
But again, they finally found a coach that could surpass Coach Bryant. But
is he going to retire there?
No, but because he'll probably get fired if it keeps trending to where it's trending right now. Now, if he can get it turned around, because again, you have to understand if he goes 7-5, 8-4, they're not going to fire Mark.
Right.
But I'm just saying he went 4-8 last year, and this league is a lot tougher now with Oklahoma and Texas. And he's had chances to leave, and he stayed. Admiringly, but again, he needs to get it turned because it's this league, another couple of turds like last year, and he'll be out of a job. And don't forget, he makes $9 million a year.
Right.
They're paying him very, very well, man. But he's got to finally figure it out on offense. They just don't have a clue how to get the passing game going. They can't find a quarterback. So, and that's going to be the key. I'm going to be interested to see. I'll have them predicted as a bottom third team in the SEC until I believe it when I see it, because they just have not been able to figure things out. And I thought defensively they took some steps back last year, even though they had some good players.
All right. I want to get a break in here. I was pulling something up real fast. I wanted to take a look at it. Kentucky, Toledo, Ole Miss. They do have Ole Miss again on the schedule. South Carolina, Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, Auburn, Florida, Vanderbilt. Those are the SEC games for the Wildcats. Anyway, got to get a break in. We are, May 5th. We are just about 2 months away from convening in Atlanta.
Yep.
For SEC Media Days 2025. But we'll get a break in. Talking Ball returns live from Bill Penney Toyota after this.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Isolated showers going to be possible for this Monday. Otherwise, expect to see partly clouds. High temperatures warming into the upper 60s for the afternoon. Looking ahead into Monday night, clouds start to clear. Low temperatures falling into the upper 40s to lower 50s for the overnight. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
That wreck at Parkway in Clinton should be out of the way now. Had a wreck 565 eastbound at mile marker 3. It should be clear. Haven't heard an update on the flashing traffic signal at Jordan and Bob Wallace. HPD was there directing traffic. Dr. Sandman has the Somnodent, a safe, insurance-approved alternative for snoring and sleep apnea. Dr. Randall Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Carrabba's Italian Grill is the best place to enjoy authentic Italian cuisine, passed down from our founders' family recipes. Featuring a wood-burning grill, you can enjoy Carrabba's signature dishes, including chicken brine, wood-fired grilled steak and chops, and classic Italian pasta dishes. Have a special event? Elevate your catering with Carrabba's Catering, the perfect way to enjoy large party portions of your favorite hand-prepared dishes for any event. Carrabba's Italian Grill at Parkway Place, Huntsville.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bono's Land.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Tellurides, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia if you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal. And we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Your home of the SEC Baseball Tournament. 97.7 The Zone.
Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. We're hanging out here inside Bill Penney Toyota, and we just chill when we're out here. It's just like very relaxing. Almost makes you want to take a nap sometimes.
Maybe if I was watching La Dame.
NBA playoffs continuing. Brian Bank is calling me. Do they not know that I am on a show right now?
I was going to have a sponsor call you, though.
Well, I know what it is. It's the Colorado Water Authority.
Oh.
Yeah. Colorado Water Authority tried getting $5,200 from me over the weekend.
Oh, somebody hacked you?
Someone tried to get into my account and take $5,200.
Yeah.
I just kind of laughed. I was like, you can try all you want.
Colorado Water Authority, that's where they said it was from?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'd allow, like, you could try all you want, but you ain't getting $5,200.
Via India, probably.
So I know that's why I have a feeling that's why they're calling me.
Because, I mean, heck, I've got a couple of those calls lately. The guy says, my name is Charlie. And then you just hang up.
My name is Charlie.
Yeah, I don't think so. Lord.
Yeah.
$5,200.
Yeah.
Jeez. Somebody got hacked.
Somebody got something.
That's one of the best things, man. When you go to YouTube, find that scammers channel where they turn it around on the scammers. It's hilarious. Where they hack into their cameras and everything.
Oh yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah,
and they drive them crazy. And they turn around and play them. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, the one that I know everybody's getting right now is I got one over the weekend, and it was the whole toll booth thing
the toll
again.
Thing. Yeah, if you don't hurry up and pay, we're gonna impound. Whatever. Where in Bangladesh? That's all I tell.
I got that one over the weekend.
I'm like, dude, I hadn't been in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I don't know when. You're telling me I'm like, are you just an idiot?
It says I got one that says final notice enforcement will begin after May 3rd. May Thirst.
Nice.
It says May 3 ST, May Thirst. As of today, your tolls are still unpaid. If you still don't pay, If you still Dawn/T pay your tolls tomorrow, you will face the following consequences. This is where I got scared. It said the DMV will suspend my vehicle and I will face legal action and damage to your credit. You may be considered an illegal driver. Please pay before enforcement. Pay now.
Wow.
So that was the one I got on Saturday. I know a lot of people are getting the whole pay toll ones.
Oh, yeah. Gotten a few. All deleted.
Yeah, I deleted that
and I've
one.
been getting a lot of those. Your iPhone's infected. Hurry up and pay for this.
This virus protection
this
thing.
Virus garbage protection thing. It only costs you $39. Hurry up.
Oh, that, and I'm eligible for apparently I'm eligible for like $20 car insurance a month or whatever. Some cheap policy. I'm getting that one too. Some cheap policy car insurance stuff.
Yeah, then you'll end up with as much taxes as I had.
$20. I'm like, you're going to give me $20 car insurance. That's impressive.
Uh-huh.
Let's go out to the phone lines. Jason is with us this morning. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, Jason. You pay any tolls?
Good morning. I ain't got no toll money for y'all.
Yeah. We got tolls all over Huntsville.
Apparently I did. I'm going to suspend my vehicle.
Okay. When I went to Pensacola 2 summers ago, and it was so busy, they had the toll booth shut down, and it takes a picture of you crossing
the toll bridge.
And then it also snaps the picture of you, and it takes a picture of your tag. And then 3 weeks later, you get it in the mail, and you get this real nice photo of yourself you can hang on the wall. And it says, send us $1.75, however you want to do it, and that'll take care of your tolls.
Mm-hmm.
You get proof by your car and the picture of yourself.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep, they are taking you when you come across the thing. Drew, how bad did you get at the baseball game yesterday?
How mad did I get? I was not in a good mood the rest of the night. I mean, it was a complete meltdown choke job is what it was.
All right, the Banks kid they brought in. I watched him for the last 2 weeks. He chokes every time unless he's losing when he comes in. And he was plonking them. We seen the same thing 2 weeks ago. And then they bring in the other guy, and one guy done real good. And then the drop in right field just blew it for that guy. The guy don't miss the ball in right field. The other guy concentrates, and they win the baseball game.
You mean in left? Yeah, in left field. Yeah, you get that ball in left had to be caught. I mean, it completely changes the inning because you get the leadoff batter out, then maybe he doesn't drill the second hitter, and then and you've got a good chance of potentially getting the first 2 outs. And even if the second batter reaches, you saw what happened. I mean, they're probably not going to be bunting, but I just think it changes the entire tenor of the inning. And yet, the really thing that infuriated me, and I told Scott this at the start of the show, is after all that, they still should have won. Because I mean, if your shortstop's covering second base and the way Vanderbilt ran the bases there, you should have gotten out of that inning. You should have been able to get for the bad base running. That should have been out 3 and you win 7-5. You should have never had to throw another pitch, and you choked it.
No, I mean they teach you from youth league to go in behind the runner. If you're playing second or short, and cover the bag because there may be a play there. It should have been over. I mean, you would think the second baseman or shortstop would say to the other runner from second going to third and would have been covering the bag.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I understood where Garrett Staten was, because Garrett Staten, he was playing second. He didn't know if Osmer was going to be able to get off the mound and get the ground ball, so it was coming to him. So he broke for the ground ball. But LeBron should have been on second base, but instead he's out in Neverland, just standing around, and he should have been on second base with the ability for Hodo to make the throw to him. But Hodo is smart. You don't throw. There's nobody there. You don't throw it and give him a run or two. Yeah, right. So because you've got a chance to get the last out and still win the game. Unfortunately, Osmer threw 2 bad pitches in a row, and and had two bad sequences, and we saw what happened. It's very frustrating, and as you heard Mark Etheridge say, as of right now, probably costs Alabama a chance to host. We'll see how they react, because Troy is going to be a tough road trip tomorrow, and then you play Georgia at home, and then go on the road to get the Florida Gators. So to me, they got to go 5-2 if they want to hope to be a top 16 national seed and host.
Yeah, they do. I mean, what upsets me the most? We only have one catcher on team.
Well, no, they've got Will Plattner, who's had a pretty solid year himself, but
where's he at?
I'm thinking he's injured. I'd have to double check it, because he hasn't played nearly, because one time it looked like he was, especially because he was the way he was swinging the bat, that he had took the starting job from Brady Neal, but he hasn't played a lot lately, and I'm thinking he may be injured. I'll have to check with a couple of my baseball guys, but he has not played a lot in the last month, and I'm beginning to wonder, because he was doing a good job and hitting about 280, which, Brady Neal's hitting just a shade over 200. Did have one big hit yesterday, but still.
He's only facing left-handed pitchers most of the time. If you bring Plattner in to go up against the left-handed pitchers, we'd be a little bit better off, and use Neal with the right-handed pitchers. Right. Get a little break.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Y'all have a good day.
All right,
Thank you,
Thanks for the
Appreciate
phone call.
you, man.
Yeah. Let's get a break in, shall we? Let's wrap all this up next. It's Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at sensagreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penney Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penney perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penney Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penney Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPenneyToyota.com. Bill Penney's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
When the biggest names in aerospace, financial services, and electronics needed office and manufacturing space in Huntsville, they called Samples Properties, and they've been doing it for over 40 years. When Huntsville first began to grow, so did Samples Properties. You can trust your business to Samples Properties and their deep knowledge of the commercial real estate market in Huntsville and Madison. When you're in the market for commercial real estate and you need a partner who knows how to make your plans come together, Samples Properties can guide you through all the legal, financial, and regulatory hurdles. And if you just need office space to start or grow your business, Samples Properties is the call you need to make. Go to samplesproperties.com to see the impressive list of clients that have profited from the knowledge and integrity of Samples Properties. For commercial real estate development and consultation, trust your business to Samples Properties, with offices on Madison Street in downtown Huntsville. Samplesproperties.com.
Looking for your next game day party destination? Well, think outside the box and kick back at Flosa Premier. And you may be thinking, isn't that the trampoline place? Of course it is. But it's also the one-stop spot for all things fun. And if kicking back with the boys to watch the game is your jam, then you're in the right spot. Jump or not, Flow tends to all ages, meaning while you sit back and watch the game, but little Jimmy's having the time of his life perfecting that front flip he most definitely wants to show you. You got this, Jimmy. So next time you think Flow, think fun for everyone.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama, located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. The Atlanta Braves over the weekend played host to the Los Angeles Dodgers. A great way for the Braves to kind of see how far they've come since the beginning of the year. Remember, the Padres and Dodgers were first 7 games for the Braves right out of the gates against San Diego and then against the Dodgers. Things didn't go so well on the West Coast. Braves swinging the bats a lot better going into this series. Ultimately, though, the Dodgers end up taking 2 out of 3, I believe, from the Braves over the weekend.
Yeah, they did. The Braves finally got one yesterday, 4-3, but the rest of it was an F.
Oh, there you go.
Watching Freddie Freeman destroy the baseball when he should be playing in the opposite dugout.
Atlanta felt like he, I guess, could not offer a bunch more. The Atlanta Braves, after dropping that, still 3 games below 500, 3.5 games out of the wild card, 6 games back of the New York Mets, who've cooled off a little bit. They're just 4-6 in their last 10.
The Mets
are the New York Mets.
They always do.
The good news is nobody is tearing up the East right now and running away with it. So as tough as it's been for the Braves and continues to be for the Braves, if you can just hover around that 500 mark, you're still going to find yourself, I think, in the NL East by the midway point of the year.
Did you say the NL East?
The NL East. Yeah, well, the NL East.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
like I said, they did start 0-7. So they've been trying to claw their way back. Just haven't finally can't quite get over the hump, but they got to get healthy too. You got to remember, there's still no Ronald.
That's what I'm saying.
Yet.
If you can hold up around that 500 mark, nobody's running away with it. The Mets are 22-13. Mm-hmm. Braves are 15-18. You're 6 games out of it. That's not impossible. Yes, it's a lot of ground to make up, but there's still so much time left. And if you can hover around that 500 mark, get everybody
the year
healthy.
They won the World Series in 21. They were horrendous for nearly the first half of the season before they caught fire. They were not good at all. They were in one time, I think, even in last place. So baseball is the ultimate marathon, not a sprint, and how hot you are going into the postseason kind of stuff. And it's about when you get healthy as well. So Atlanta needs to get healthy. They need to get Ronald Acuna back. When he's right, he's one of the best, if not the best player in baseball. He's one of them. I guess he and Ohtani. But again, I mean, that's what you got to do. The Braves got to get everybody healthy and rowing the boat in the same direction and get some continuity going.
Dodgers and Padres continue to be a tie atop the West. Dodgers had the percentage points, so they lead that at 23-11. Cubs are 21-14, leading the Central.
There you go.
Yeah. Mariners 20-13, leading the West. Tigers 22-13, leading the AL Central. And your beloved Yankees 19-15, leading the AL East.
I think they lost a series to Tampa this weekend, which I loved.
There you go. The NBA playoffs continuing.
Really?
Yes, they are.
How can they without the Lakers and the Clippers?
That just means ESPN has to cover somebody else.
Yeah.
Indiana on top of that series, that second round series with the Cavs, 121-112.
Upset them in game one.
Golden State takes care of Houston in 7 yesterday, 103-89. And coming up tonight, you got the Knicks and the Celtics kicking off that series, as well as Denver and Oklahoma City.
Yeah, this should be a heck of a series there. Denver, love Jokic. They have a really good team. They fired their coach and GM and still won a playoff series. Of course, they did beat the Clippers.
There you go.
LA with such great basketball.
We got to get a 24-hour recess in. Actually, 22 hours. We're back at it in studio tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Talking Ball.
Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Alabama knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll